So since it's -4, I know I don't have either one of those lines going through -4. So I can already eliminate A as one of my choices. I know it can't be this one. Can I eliminate any of the others? I can eliminate C, because neither one of those lines are going through -4 on the y-axis. Now, B and D, it looks like it's going to be down to either the same line or parallel lines. Because I know you're looking at B going, well, there's only one line there, so that can't be it. Well, it could be if our two original equations are actually the same line. So we can't automatically rule B out. It could be option B. So what we need to do is, just like we took this equation and put it in slope-intercept form, now let's take the other equation and put it in slope-intercept form and see what we get. So this one is 1/3 x minus 4. Now I'm going to have to erase this so I can have some room to do my other problem. So now if I manipulate 2x minus 6y, I'll either get the same thing, and if I get the same thing, it's going to be option B, and if I get something different but that still has that slope of 1/3, then I know it's D. Has to be one or the other. So I'm going to move my x term. And that's going to leave me -6y equals -2x minus 6. Divide everything by -6. And that's going to leave me y equals 1/3. Okay, good. And -6 over -6 is +1. So we know that this line was the line we got before, because this was the one that was 1/3 x minus 4. Is this line the 1/3 x plus 1? Yeah. So because they're not the same, we're ruling out option B, which means it has to be option D. Now it does say classify, and there's two different ways to classify systems. When it's consistent or inconsistent, that's talking about the number of solutions. If you have one or more solution, it's consistent. Is there a solution there? Now remember, solution graphically is where they intersect. So is there a solution? No, there's no solution. So this has to be inconsistent because there's no solution. There's no ordered pair that works for both because there's no intersection point. The dependent-independent refers to how many lines you have. So if it's dependent, you have the same line twice. If it's independent, you have two independent lines. You have two separate lines. So because we have two separate lines, it's definitely independent. And this problem we did in 8.1. So if you want to practice more with the classification or even just the graphing, 8.1 is where you'll find those problems. And now, dun 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 dun, our favorite problem on the whole test is number 13. Do you think it's symbolic that it ended up being number 13? Just wondering. It's the most evil problem on the test, and it's number 13. Okay, so this is an 8.4, and if you haven't got there yet, this is what you have to look forward to. We have word problems, and this is going to involve a system. So we have soybean meal is 14% protein, cornmeal 7% protein. How many pounds of each should be mixed together in order to get a 280-pound mixture that is 10% protein? And you're like, who cares? I don't care. So the way you have to think about this is we are going to write down a system, which means more than one equation. We have two types of numbers going on in this problem. I definitely see percents. What's my other kind of number? I have numbers that are percents, and then I have another number that's not a percent, but what does it represent? Pounds. So I have number of pounds, and I have percent. So one of my equations is going to have all the percents in it, and my other equation is just going to be pounds. Now they're asking us how many pounds of each. I don't know anything about the pounds of either one. So that's actually the easiest equation to start off with, is your pounds equation. Because I can simply say, well, I have X pounds of soybean, and I have Y pounds of cornmeal, but I know that the total has to be 280. So I have X pounds, Y pounds. I know together they have to total 280. That's the easiest equation to write. The other equation, the percent equation, it's still not difficult to write, but it's got more to it. It's not as simple as that one. So if we know that soybean meal is 14%, and I have X pounds of it, mathematically, how do I represent that? And so I'm going to convert my percent to decimal. So 0.14x. So 14% of X pounds of soybean meal plus, we have our cornmeal, which is 7%. So that's going to be 0.07y. So far we have 14% of X pounds of soybean added to 7% of Y pounds of cornmeal has to total. Now look what we've got, percents times the pounds. Percents times the pounds. We're going to keep that. Percent, so our total needs to be 10% of the total pounds, which we know the total pounds is 280. That's the 1 pound number I do know. You don't want to just leave it at 0.10, because that means you're saying that they total to 0.1 pound if you do that. So we want 10% of our total pounds. So our top equation represents all the pounds, and our bottom equation is the percent. So here's our system. The question is, what's going to be the easiest way to solve it? We sure are not going to graph this thing. So it's either going to be substitution or elimination. I like substitution on these problems because my top equation, X and Y, that'd be very easy to isolate either the X or the Y. So I'm going to pick one, and I'm just going to isolate the X. And it doesn't matter which one. But if I get X by itself, all that means is I subtracted Y from both sides. So 280 minus Y. Now when I do that, that means if X equals all that, I can take that and plug it in right here and solve. I'm obviously not going to have enough space to do this. But that's going to give me a new equation of 0.14. Instead of X, I'm going to put times 280 minus Y plus 0.07y equals, can I go ahead and simplify the 10% of 280, 0.10 times 280? Okay, and that's going to be 28 when I do that. So this is the equation I have to solve. So I'm going to have to distribute my 0.14, and when I do that, I get 39.2 minus 0.14y plus 0.07y equals 28. Once you get to this point, like I said, I'm kind of running out of room, but I'm going to just kind of talk about what I would do with the rest. What would be the next step you would do here? Yeah, you can combine your like terms right here. So I'm still going to have my 39.2 minus 0.07y because I have a minus 0.14y plus a 0.07y. So a minus 0.14 plus a 0.07 is a negative, or a minus 0.07y equals 28. And then you would just have to subtract 39.2 from both sides and then do a final division of a negative 0.07. And when you do that, when you finish it off, what do you get for y? And let's see here, we're letting y be cornmeal. Yeah. Do what?